I'm going to show you guys the best way to digitally advertise your local home service business that's between 2 and 5 million. So if you haven't hit 5 million yet, this is the way that's going to get you to 5 million. If you're already at around 5 million, you want to hit 7, you want to hit 10, you need to make sure that you're doing this method with your digital advertising. Okay. So a lot of people, they're always speaking about Google this or Facebook that, and there's like a war between, like who does what or what's better. The real answer is that you need to use both. Okay. So if you want to watch a full like 30-minute video on me basically going this whole topic, that is on my YouTube channel. But I'm going to try and keep this video short, sweet, and under 5 minutes. And I'm going to try really hard because when I get on a topic that I'm passionate about, I can talk forever and just go on and on. So I'm going to try really hard and just get to the point here. Okay. So why Facebook and Google? Okay. I know again in 2025, the last however many years, Facebook has been so popular. Everyone's going to Facebook, or people are still like, well, no, Google. Okay. The thing is, you need to use both. And here's why. Okay. So I'm going to pull a little drawing tool here and let's just talk about each of the platforms themselves. Okay. So first, let's just go ahead and talk about Google. Okay. So why Google? And I'm going to talk about each of these platforms individually, and then let's talk about why they work really, really good together. Okay. So for the nature of Google, how does Google work? So once your keywords, right? Of course, depending how you do your keywords, depending on your match types, right? But the goal of Google is you want to get high intent searchers who are looking for exactly what you're selling. You want them to be looking that up on Google. You want them to see your ads. You want them to click on your ads. You want them to take action. Okay. So of course, in any given market, let's say, for asphalt paving companies, if you're focusing on residential asphalt paving, let's just say that maybe there's like 1,000 searches a month in your area, for what you have. Google is a fantastic way to not waste a lot of budget, but be like, hey, we want to advertise right to these people. Okay. So high intent. Okay. High intent. And again, the one problem you have here is you typically have a conversion rate problem, especially with a business like asphalt paving. You're not a necessity. Okay. No one's toilet is leaking, sewage everywhere. No one's locked out of their house at 2 a.m. Okay. So you're not a commodity. You're not a necessity, but you're a luxury. Okay. So there's a couple reasons why people buy that, obviously, but since you're a higher ticket and you're a luxury, you probably have, let's say, a conversion rate between 10 and 20%. So what does that mean? Let's just use the number 10% here for math's sake. Okay. So if 10% of people that are looking up, let's just say asphalt paving companies near me, 10% of those are filling out your estimate form or your form to, have someone come out and give them an estimate, phone calling, either any type of conversion, right? Let's say 10%. That means that 9 out of 10 people who visit your site have not taken any action and then poof, they're gone. Okay. And with Google, a search campaign, once someone clicks on your ads and then they leave and they go do something else, they're never you're never showing up in front of them again. You can have a performance max campaign, which inherently is always going to retarget for you a little bit, at least 30-40% of the budget anyways. But again, unless you have really high quality, videos and photos, like people are still only seeing those on banners of websites or like maybe a YouTube ad or like a YouTube placement. It's still not the best way, right? So Google's one and done. Okay. We're right to the point. We're right to the guys we want, but we pretty much have one good shot here. Okay. So this is a great way to still get, that 10-20% of people to take action, high quality leads. Google's going to work best when you already have, a presence. You've been in business for some time. You have good Google reviews, etc. That, of course, is obviously all going to help the Google ads. But the big question, okay, we've sniped a couple people. We've got them. We're like, boom, we're getting 10-20% conversions. But what about all these other clicks we're getting? Let's say average cost per click is $15. What about all these, 9 times 15 is like what? Let's say like $130. Like where are the rest of those clicks going? Okay. And this is where Meta comes in, right? So now these 9 people, we want to filter off to Meta. So let's put a little pin in this and let's talk about how Meta works. So when you are, okay, let's, break these down again, right? So Google is high intent search traffic. Okay. And Meta is pretty much influence/interruption based marketing. Okay. So Google, you pay per click. When someone looks up what you're selling and they click on your ads, boom, Google takes your money and then it's up to you from there, right? What Meta does is Meta shows your ads to people and they charge per impression. It's the term is called CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. Okay. So, and they're not, impressions isn't a unique eyeball. It's just eyeballs in general, right? So you might have a frequency of like 3, which means that, you really only had 333 unique eyeballs, but it was shown to these people each 3 times, which is 1,000 impressions. Okay. So just keep that in mind. This little sidebar there, right? But what you're doing here, for the most part, people are typically just using broad match targeting and letting, Meta find the customers. What's happening here is that you're just now blasting your ads to people, whether they're in the market whether they don't even own a home, whether they have, concrete, they don't even have asphalt, or whether they do, right? So you're just advertising and kind of just letting Facebook take control and show your ads to whoever you want. So there's a lot of wasted spend here that you can't control. So what typically happens when you catch someone on the blue, who's maybe scrolling at night or on their lunch break or whatever they're doing, and they, weren't thinking about an asphalt driveway or needing one or anything, and you pop up and you get their attention. They fill out a form. If you've done Meta before, you probably know exactly what I'm about to say, but pretty low quality leads. You get a lot of volume, a lot of like spam, fake phone numbers. But aside from all like the spam and the fake numbers, the ones that are real, typically a lot of people like just looking for price right away because, they don't actually have an inherent interest in this originally, kind of spark their interest. So their commitment level is really low. Also, a lot of people just like looking for like, hey, we just have like a little patch. We want patched. And then you tell them the price, they go, oh yeah, forget it, right? They want to know if you can come by and fix like one crack. For the most part. Is that to say that Meta does not work? No. Meta does work. So does Google, okay? But in order to take your business as between 2 and 5 to, again, if you haven't hit the 5 already, let's say like 2 and 4, right? If you want to hit 5, you want to hit 7, you want to hit 10, you have to use these platforms together because they each have their own strengths and they each have their own weaknesses. So what do we do with these other 9 people over here, the 90% who have clicked on the Google ads, who have shown interest, are high intent people in the market, but didn't, take action on our website? Is now we retarget them. Oops, I just moved that. We retarget on, oh man, pardon my handwriting here on the computer, but we retarget. Okay, so what does this mean? Is now we use an audience that is just people who have, visited the site, who have not filled out a form, who have not called. And now we run ads just to these people, okay? Because we know they're interested. So now our funnel is starting with, and the only people we're advertising to, it all is going to stem from who's actually in our market, who's interested, and who's searching. And then we just keep them in an ecosystem. And that's what this Facebook ad strategy is for. So we use video, we use static. And now because we know someone's interested and they haven't taken action yet, there's always a reason, okay? And this cannot be done well on Google at all. This is why Meta is amazing for this, is you want to hit people with multiple different angles, okay? Think about this. Why would someone get their asphalt driveway done, okay? Maybe curb appeal. Maybe they just had one for a long time and you can like send a, show a picture of like a really like spider web cracked asphalt driveway and be like, is this your driveway? And then they go, damn, yeah, that is. It looks pretty bad, right? So maybe people, they just want to fix it because they, they've had the driveway for a really long time and it just looks bad. Maybe they want to, a curb appeal, or maybe they want to add equity to their home because they're planning on selling, or maybe they just have a good amount of money and they just like to have nice stuff and their driveway just, sticks out like a sore thumb, right? So any of those reasons could be reasons why someone would want to, get an asphalt driveway. So if you start with the high intent people who haven't taken action yet, now we can use Meta to show them static ads, to show them video ads, and hit them with these emotional angles, price angles, like, hey, basically, giving, okay, this is where you put in your call to action, like free estimate, or, maybe this time if your driveway's in this, we're doing, this right now offer, right? So putting the offers, putting the call to action, reaffirming, hey, how long have we been in business for? We've helped this many residents. We would love, if you trusted us with your driveway. We're adding the curb appeal, adding the home equity, etc. These are the angles now that we can use to retarget these folks. And then typically what I see is I see Google as a pretty strong front runner in terms of spend. So naturally, I want about 75%. Again, these numbers get tweaked as things go because every business, every local market is different. But it started about 75% of the budget here, about 25% of the budget here. And then I actually end up seeing the best cost per conversion come from Meta, but it's only because these people originally have shown interest. They've originally came from Google. And then when they're in that shopping mindset and they know they want and they're in the market, we have to stand out and show people why they should trust us, why they should pick us, etc. So long story short, if you want to take your business to 5 million, 7 million, 10 million and beyond, you need to be using both platforms. Okay. I know Meta is all high, people, it's popular now, whatever. Google's Google's old, this, that. You need to use these together, okay? There's only so many ways to advertise your business. If you want to go online and you're like, man, I just can't crack the client acquisition system or customer acquisition system, no matter what, there's only a few ways. You've probably heard many, big marketers talk about this if you've done, if you're into that, I guess. There's only a few ways, and Google and Meta do work. And if you're looking to take your results to the next level, you need someone who can implement this system and do both. And then the goal right here, for instance, for asphalt paving companies combined right here, the average goal is we want real estimates. People who are on the schedule that you have an estimator going out to, we want those real requests for $150 each. That is the goal between both of these. I know obviously there's There are plenty of jobs that are small that are 4K. There are some smaller driveways that are 8K, but majority of jobs are probably, between like that 8 and like 16 range. So let's just say 12K. If you close 20%, do the math here, your marketing comes out to, about a 10% marketing expense ratio, which gets you about a 10x return on your ad spend. So this is the target for all of my clients in the asphalt paving industry. And I have done it for several, and I continue to do it. So I hope this video, was really helpful. I try to keep it short and sweet. How long is it? 11 minutes, of course. Okay. I said I was going to try and keep it under 5. I knew that was not going to be possible, but I hope you were able to learn something. If you have any questions, if you came from my paid advertising and we have a call set up, please reference this video, ask me any questions, or if you're seeing this on YouTube, leave me a comment down below. And if you want me to run your paid ads for you and you're just seeing this video for the first time on YouTube, click the first link in my description, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.